Gareth Southgate has stepped down as England manager. Gareth Southgate has left his managerial post as the manager of the England national team. Now, that will be music to a lot of people, including my ears people, because I don't think the man is cut up for the job. I must admit, though, when it's all said and done, I feel sorry for him. I can doubt your selections, your tactics, what you're doing, but I can't doubt your integrity and the togetherness. And for someone who's 29 years of age, obviously the consistency for England fans younger or older than me has been ultimately disappointment. But in terms of having a bunch of players and getting through to latter stages of competitions, like I'm sure we've been to a World Cup semi-final or two, we've obviously gone to back-to-back European finals and, not been able to get over the line. This has been the most quote-unquote competitive we've been. Whether I believe that's in spite of Gareth Southgate or not, when things are going right, you can't just blame the players. And when things are going wrong, you can't just blame the manager. I feel sorry for him. I think everybody that, was paying attention to England and was looking at the Euros, you could tell really that, in the best case scenario, he probably would have stepped down if we won it. I think he looking like a man that was going to want to leave really and truly because, of course, in the role, you're subject to criticism, which is fair criticism. Sometimes I think it borders over the top and it's got to be exhausting really and truly, people, not just on him and on his family. And I don't think this was a decision just made off of losing the final to Spain. Obviously, that's played a key role and that's probably dampened the sentiment. But I think he was always planning to do this, if I'm honest. I think he's reached the end of his cycle. I think he's drawn as much blood from a stone or as much juice from the lemon as he potentially can. My only biggest problem with Gareth Southgate is the very talking points we've been saying with Gareth Southgate. They've been there with managers before him and could be managers away from him. It is the perfect time. We've got 18 months or let's say 2 years really and truly. Yeah, 18 months ain't right. 2 years until the next World Cup. This is the perfect time to find a site to begin a new cycle, to find a manager that can play on the front foot, that can identify how we can press from the front and obviously play out the back, because there's too many chinks in the armor. Some of it has been self-inflicted. At the end of the day, there's been some good highlights from Gareth Southgate, especially some of the managerial substitutions he's made really. And I really am off topic. I respect how he speaks about racism. He's never ran away from that. But in the modern day, what England are doing, how we got to the final is nothing short of a miracle. Not to get at Jordan Pickford, he was one of England's best players and nobody can criticize him. But in the modern day, your keepers need to be comfortable with their feet. We are going long. We're not winning the first or the second ball. Our midfield is in disarray and it's too easy to pass through them. We cannot play out from the back with our defenders, even though they were some of our better players. We cannot press on the front foot as a team. You can't do anything in the modern day, really, and it's square pegs in round holes. And again, the players have to take some responsibility. But, the manager's putting them out there. If you've got Jude Bellingham coming off the campaign he had for Real Madrid, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Declan Rice, the list goes on. Harry Kane, say what you want about him, he's a quality player. If all of them are not thriving, there's issues really. And a lot of it's been self-inflicted. The guy didn't really want to start Kobe Mainoo. Kobe Mainoo showed you why you shouldn't have been experimenting with Gallagher in midfield. And, you weren't even really helping Trent. The left-hand side for England throughout the whole campaign was diabolical tactically and just in terms of personnel. We weren't creating chances. I do think Phil Foden, it's another campaign he's building up as the golden child and flattered to deceive. But there's got to be a reason, he has been made redundant, essentially. There isn't no system. So now is a time for the English FA to really identify what they want to do, not just buzzwords, what they actually want to do. Find a manager, pardon my language, Gareth Southgate, but someone who's not as conservative as him, someone that can get the best out of these creative players, somebody there's going to be a system. You look at the Spanish, you look at the Germans, you look at everybody else, regardless of who's the manager or who's selected, there's a certain way they play. England, we don't play that way. Even with some of the conventional stuff, the blood, the thunder, the guts, the glory, that was redundant, really and truly. We're very conservative as a nation. So the country need to identify who is going to be the manager, what is going to be the project. Obviously, form and new players coming on the scene dictates a lot, but there needs to be a core group of players or philosophy that you bet on, the Sakas, the Bellinghams, the Fodens, the list goes on, and really find a way of playing, because in an international job, it's not like in club football, as you guys already know, people. You don't have a week to work with these boys. You have a couple of international breaks, and to be honest with you, Southgate, you got to the final really, so I can't say anything, but you struggle to wonder what we would do, what have we been doing in all these international breaks, all these qualifiers and all of these things in the build up to the Euros, really and truly. It's like, if you mess around in school and it comes to exam season, and you're flunking it really, you're fluking it, you're winging it essentially, which, let's be honest, we failed upwards in the Euros. We didn't deserve, I can't say we didn't deserve to get to the final because we did it in it, but we didn't deserve to get to the final. And had we have won it, boy, I don't know where we would have been in that regards. But there's several chinks in the armor. It needs to be a new guard. Where we go from here, I don't know. You would imagine, the Graham Potters, the Gary O'Neills, the Eddie Howes, these are going to be the managers, thrown into the ring for the position. I don't know if similar to Gareth Southgate, because he not England under 21 boss, if they'll promote in-house. Spain did that and they've done quite well, really and truly. For me, I want the impossible in it. I want what we're not going to get. I would love Arsene Wenger to leave his FIFA post. I would love Jose to say he's on this. I would love Carlo Ancelotti to want to explore that. I would love Jurgen Klopp or Zidane or Pep Guardiola, someone that, pardon my language, has big bollocks and you know what they're about, really and truly. I think that's what you need on the international scene, really. And a lot of the talking points, once again, that have been here with Gareth Southgate are going to be here with the next manager. I mean, Gareth Southgate, what I will say is I can criticize you from a fair point of view, but hold your head high, man. I've never doubted your integrity. You seem like a good guy. Obviously I can't, we can sit here and say they let the country down and things like that, but I don't think that's right. I think they tried their best, I guess, even though I wasn't happy with it. And it's got to be eating him up, man, really. 2 finals and it's an L, really. As I said, for me, I think this was always going to be his last campaign, really. As obviously during the bulk of a season, you don't really care about the international scene per se. Managers go under the radar, but the element of scrutiny is crazy. And I don't think this was a snap decision. I don't think this is a decision that the FA wanted because there was rumours they want to keep him going into the 2026 World Cup. I think he always knew that this would be his last tournament. And for me, Southgate, I think he'd have too many regrets. I think you and the players in that final have too many regrets. I think he was very passive, very conservative. I can't say we didn't try to win, but I didn't get the vibe that we wanted to win and put our best foot forward. It's like we played with a handbrake. And to be honest, you can't have all of these exciting players and an overly conservative manager. As I said, there's not a single, beyond the togetherness, and I guess you could hide behind the results. He's got to finals and these things. You could say you can't really get onto him. But for me, I don't know tactically what there is to scream and shout about with Gareth Southgate. There isn't really a plan. Pickford's going long. We're not winning the first or the second. As I said, the midfield is a shambles. We cannot play out from the back. Harry Kane going into this tournament said we cannot press as a team, essentially, and he showed that. So in the modern day, you're in trouble. If you can't do any of these things, you're in trouble. We were doing the moments. It's like we did the Real Madrid thing in the but definitely not Real Madrid because they actually play well. But we did the Real Madrid thing in that, we snatched a couple of results going into the tournament, going into the latter stages of the tournament. And then obviously in the final, we were moving like Spurs, really. So I think it has to happen, innit? I think those that make the decisions need to go back to the drawing board and really think about what they want to do and really plant the seeds so that we can harvest the crops in not just 2026, but beyond. Look at the age profile. I know Foden's not a young boy anymore. I don't know why he's treated like a little kid, but he's 24 years of age. Saka is 22. Maino's 18, 19. You've got a young crop of players, and there's a bunch of players who never made this squad, and there'll be a bunch of them on the scene in years to come, people, or in the next 18 months. Bet on a crop of these players, find a philosophy and a real way of playing, and keep it moving from there, really. As much as it's about Gareth Southgate, there's issues deeper than Gareth Southgate, because we could be here saying the same things. Gareth Southgate did say, as a proud Englishman, it's been my honour of my life to play for England and to manage England. It's meant everything to me and I've given it my all, but it's time for a change and for a new chapter. I'm leaving my role. Fair play, man. I wish you all the best. You're probably going to go on holiday. I think you need to do the punditry thing or like work in some sort of consultancy role. You could work in club football, not as a manager, in my opinion. But yeah, big him up. I do feel sorry for him. He reached more major international finals than any other England national team manager combined. So although he didn't win it, he's done a lot more than previous others. So I wish him all the best. I haven't had to doubt his integrity. I can criticize the methods, but I can't criticize, I had no doubt that you was in your own way trying. And again, I can't comment on what I don't see, but it's not just Gareth Southgate, it's deeper than that. It's the those above him, and it's also the coaching staff. I'm not even blaming them, but what is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank doing there? What is Steve Holland doing? I don't know what they're doing, but I'm asking what are they doing? Because again, using my eyes, as an ignorant football fan, nobody can tell me England's style of play. No one can tell me the philosophies. Nobody can say anything. It's just 11 players out there that all play for good clubs and have achieved great things and all of that, and they're winging it. You know, there's no synergy, there's no nothing really and truly, and we'll be here saying the same things time in, time out. So yeah, we'll have to see. It's an end of an era. As I said, big up Gareth Southgate. But yeah, Gareth Southgate has left his England position. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.